in North Carolina. After the murders of several students by people who had been out on probation and parole, they found between 2000 and 2008, 580 people had been murdered in North Carolina by somebody out on probation parole. My name is Jay Hamilton. I'm the Hearst Professor of Communication at Stanford. I direct the journalism program. I've recently published a book called Democracy's Detectives: The Economics of Investigative Journalism. The Raleigh News and Observer took 6 months to investigate what was going on. It cost them over $200,000. Once that story was published, what happened? Laws changed. The first year after policy changed, 8 fewer people were murdered. And what you find is that for each dollar that the News and Observer invested in that story, society had about $150 in net policy benefits. Society benefits, but it's hard for the paper to monetize. But again, nobody rolls out of bed in North Carolina and says, "Thank you, News and Observer, I have a lower probability of being murdered today." I hesitate as a PhD economist to offer economic advice to people who are facing a market test every day. In general, the outlets that are flourishing are those that are willing to engage in partnerships. So for example, if your newsroom is willing to partner with a larger organization like ProPublica or Frontline, that allows you to spread the cost and reach a larger audience. There are a couple policy tools that you could use to support investigative reporting. The real implementation of the Freedom of Information Act. Essentially, if it's easier to pull information out of government, that lowers the cost to reporters too. Right now the government funds amazing software developed that actually helps the government watch other people, but I would like the government to fund research that helps journalists watch the government. Aside from that, there's the evolution of the field called computational journalism, and I think that the development of that field would allow people to discover stories with better data and algorithms and tell stories in a more personalized or engaging way. That's really a supply side approach, let's lower the cost, and a demand side approach. Let's make stories so engaging that people are willing to subscribe.